Hi there everybody, SDM Kahuna here, doing my first review of Brink on the Xbox 360. So just going to fire this on up here, give you guys a run through of my impressions of the game, see if it mirrors what any of you guys have been thinking, and hopefully maybe inform a few of you, so maybe still sitting on the fence about whether to pick this up or not. Now, Brink is a brand new shooter brought to us by Splash Damage through Bethesda Softworks. Takes an interesting kind of approach to the kind of stymied first-person shooter genre at the moment. Let's be honest, it is the most overcrowded genre at the moment in time. Splash Damage, going back to a model similar to that of Team Fortress 2, borrows heavily in the class-based system from that, and also throws in elements of Mirror's Edge with the parkour style running and such. Now, the single player campaign is designed very similarly to the likes of Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament, for those of you old enough to remember, where essentially your single player missions are just the multiplayer maps played with bot support. Now, surprisingly, in Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament, this wasn't a bad thing because the AI was more than passable. It presented a positive challenge. In this, the AI poses a challenge for a wholly different reason. The AI that supports you is very, very poor. There's no cohesion. In a game that's clearly designed to be team-based, the inability to communicate with your friendly AI can result in some stupidly difficult scenarios. You try to run and capture objectives by yourself, totally outnumbered and outgunned. This is not a game where a single player can change the tide of battle. As such, the single player campaign is probably going to be overlooked by most people, and I have to say probably quite rightly so, as it's just sadly unfinished. Being the carbon copy of the multiplayer that it is, had they implemented some form of kind of control wheel implementation for the bots, as in asking them to follow you, telling them to hold objectives that you're standing next to, would have resulted in a much easier and enjoyable game system. And as such, it's a missed opportunity there, and one that could have been fixed, but sadly just wasn't fully flushed out to its total potential. Now, that being said, single player's not without its merit, will help you rank up an XP and level, which the unlocks a carryover into multiplayer anyway, so that's definitely a plus one, help you get familiarisation with the weapons and character classes, and as such that's no negative thing. Now, one of the major features of Brink is its quite fantastic character customisation. Finally comes a first person shooter where you could actually identify your friends by how they look. No need to see the tags, no need to see the names. You can pretty much individually customise your character to whatever level suits you. And there's a fair bit of flair and the unique art design of Brink, which I happen to quite like. The kind of elongated caricature is a nice departure from the kind of realistic simulation type graphics that we're seeing in a lot of the modern military shooters and the common kind of first person shooters that fill the genre. So, cartoony, characterised, accentuated, but definitely unique. And that same art style carries over onto the weapons as well. Well, we don't see any officially licensed weapons, of course not. We get some rather comically closely named weapons, and the customization levels also carry over to those as well, allowing you to define everything from grips, magazine size, barrel breaks, sights. You can basically fit any weapon to any purpose you want it to do. The standard characteristic is you carry one primary, one secondary weapon, kind of standard fare. Ammo counts are a little low. I find I'm kind of trigger happy. I tend to find myself running out of ammo. But in a game where you're supposed to be backed up by your teammates supplying you with ammo, in multiplayer again that works perfectly fine. You don't feel that so much because the guys are playing soldiers will resupply pretty quick. They want the XP points. The AI in the single player seems to miss the fact that you may need to shoot things from time to time, and I've found myself on more than one occasion running out of ammo, wishing I'd get shot so I could get back in the game and shoot things. Now, one of the major problems with Brink, and sadly one of its biggest failings, is its netcode right about now. The multiplayer is peer-to-peer, and it is highly, highly temperamental. and it is dependent on who the netcode picks as the host, and it does not seem to be optimised at all for defining who has either the best latency connection, lowest ping, whatever factors, and client-side compensation is atrocious. Now, I have played some games that are perfectly fine, and when it is fine, the game comes together, it's cohesive, it's enjoyable, and it's fast. The unfortunate thing is, not everybody in the world's got a decent broadband connection, not everybody can be close to their exchanges, not everybody has good network infrastructure, numerous different factors, and sadly, this isn't the first multiplayer game we've ever seen. These factors should be taken into account, and I can only get the feeling that Brink wasn't necessarily tested over wide area networks or was done enclosed testing on internal networks, and as such is why these things have been missed. And there's been a day one patch for it, but these issues still remain. Now, the negative things being set aside, one of the other major faults of the game is the graphics engine. It suffers badly from texture streaming faults. I've seen me sitting in rooms where I will be facing in one direction, something I looked at 10 seconds ago just now at my field of view. When I turn around, I actually see it restreaming in the textures again. It goes from blocky, less blocky, perfectly clear, and it's just a poor optimization of the system. Now, the tech build that they're using, it's not exactly new. I fail to see how they could have overlooked this, especially when they brought the launch of the game forward a week as well. So another oversight in the final kind of build of the game, unfortunately. Now, that being said, when Brink is working and when it is on its best, multiplayer is a unique experience. The Team Fortress mechanic, and I hate to draw that, mixed with the parkour elements and such, works pretty well. It's enjoyable when your team all come together. It can be a very fun, fast-paced experience. Certainly different from your CODs and your Battlefield. It's a very different feel. The parkour movement adds some nice touches and a little bit of flair. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, these nuances that it gives aren't enough to elevate it above the standard that we expect from a first-person shooter these days. And I have to say, sadly, if I have to leave a score for the game, then I would say 6 out of 10.